Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. I am the CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. I have a very exciting guest, an old friend of mine who I met under very interesting circumstances. Jonah Lavitt, welcome, first of all.
Thank
So,
you.
why don't you tell people how we met?
Gosh, through speaking circuits, right? I mean, which event did we
Do you
meet at?
remember Clint Arthur? A man named Clint Arthur.
That's right. That's right.
Does that remind you, warm up your heart?
Those were some amazing experiences. So, yeah, absolutely.
You're very generous. Very generous. So
Yeah.
tell us, Jonah, tell us what you do for a living, how you help people. I think it's fascinating what you do. So tell everyone what you do.
Yeah, I guess I could share a quick as a narrative potentially, but so when I was in college, I did a study abroad to London, and there was a man that I got partnered with, a student, that we walked to do our little class project at a Starbucks or whatever. But on the way, this woman walked past us, and he was like, "You look amazing today." And then she was like, "Oh my God." And then, we kept walking through like Oxford Circus, all these people. And I was like, did you know who that was? And he's like, "No, I'm like, you can't." I'm like, you can't just like say random things to people. And he's like, what do you mean you can't say random things to random people? I'm like, he goes, well, I just did. And so that was the beginning of, a whole story of that man became my first dating coach, essentially, and helped show me that not only just from meeting women, but meeting anybody, that it is possible to just talk to anybody, anywhere, for any reason. And there's, of course, mindset, confidence, fears, triggers. There's a lot of work to do around it. But I began that journey. And that set me off on a path to learn what I felt like was the number one greatest skill in the world, which is connecting with people. And I just had a hunch that as shy as I was and as reserved as I was and as freaked out by people as I was, a fear of rejection, abandonment, all that stuff I was dealing with, I was like, man, if I could just talk to anybody and build rapport like he could, I was like, man, this is more valuable than my business degree. So anyways, so essentially that's turned into dating coaching, social coaching, helping people make strategic connections. And it's led to a lot of things from there it stemmed from.
Yeah,
But yeah, quick
that's
synopsis.
amazing. I love it. So what is the most interesting problem that you've solved?
That's great. I was just on with a business coach like maybe 3 weeks ago. And I said, the biggest problem that I can solve in the dating industry, let's just say,
Yeah.
is if a woman, for whatever reason, just never in her life has ever had an interesting man walk up to her in real life and start a genuine conversation and genuinely ask to take her out on a proper date, I can fix that super fast, super fast. And so my business coach was like, yeah, that sounds like magic. Like someone that's never in their life had that happen, and you can have that systematically start happening when they go out. Like that's transformation. I'm like, well, it's just a lot of repetition and experience, but that's what I think is one of my genius zones, is like the wizardry is like, how do you get for somebody that's never had that happen to consistently happens? It's like a lot of fun, but it takes work.
Wow, I love that. Okay. So, I love, I think you're a great marketer. So, and I'm a marketing expert, so I'm always watching what you're doing. But tell me, what is the number one way that you market?
I am mostly a paid advertising guy. Although, some people even as clients are like, oh, I don't know if I can meet great people because I don't have this massive social media following. Like, I don't either. I never really. So I like getting in front of people where it's two things that's important in business and in dating, because I feel like marketing is the same thing. So if like it's like we're sharing something with the world, right? So if it's business, service, or product, if it's personal, it's for dating or making friends even. Yeah. But I like paid ads for some reason.
I love it. So, you know what? It's interesting because I'm trying that for the first time, really, for this launch that I have coming up next week that I was telling you about. So so that's how you get your regular funnel, right? Like you don't do event drive, you just that's your regular everyday bread and butter.
I have done I mean, I've done a lot of things, I guess. I did have a successful virtual event business where people would register or come onto a weekend workshop with me, and I'd present an offer to work with me during the event. I did have success with that during COVID, especially.
Yeah,
I
right.
but I used paid ads, but I paid ads to promote that as well. So
Uh-huh,
I've just been very much of a results numerical driven. Like I
uh-huh,
even asked women like, well, how many men walked over to you in real life in the last 90 days and asked you on a proper date? It's like, what's the number? Like I'm very
uh-huh.
number oriented. Like those,
Wow.
that's the particular of success. Same thing in business. How many people visited, saw, clicked, opted in, booked a call with you? It's like these, this is my geek zone of like, how do we optimize this
Uh-huh.
business or love life? But yeah, I like paid ads the most.
So
Yeah.
you actually benchmark your clients according to the number of times they get asked out. Is that the benchmark? Is that the KPI?
It's a good way for me to know where things are when they start with me. Like
Mm.
on a free, so I've done different kinds of formats for free sessions. Sometimes I've done like a zip code analysis with them of like, oh, my city sucks, Jonah, or like, they want the guy's perspective on something, or just a strategy session to plan out why am I single, Jonah? I'll talk, we'll do a session. But I typically on those I'll ask like the basic numbers, like how many new friends have you made? How many men approach you? How many first dates in the last 90 days? How many second dates last 90 days? This starts showing me the drop off points of
Uh-huh.
like, oh wow, so no first dates, or no second dates, or wow, only online. Like men don't just start talking to you in real life. No, it's like, okay, well, if a guy's not even interested in a little bit of a conversation in the grocery store, how are we going to get a man to be loyal to you for the next 40 years? Like there's some things I like to shift the mindset of like, well, let's fix these KPIs. And then love is like, not this one day. Hopefully it's like, oh, well, you're meeting, you got meets, you got dates, you got second, you're in a KPI, you're on track to find love. Like keep going. I think about this for business and dating as well.
Wow, it's
So,
fascinating. Well, I had
yeah,
no idea we had such similarities in what we do. That's hilarious. So that brings up the question: how does that align with online dating? Like, do you do work in that space?
I mean, I personally believe, and I did a couple of TV segments where I guess I slipped this out on television, but I said no, to online dating, and I look back like I think there's a caveat to that because if somebody's in a remote city of 100 people and it's an
Yeah.
hour drive to the grocery store, then that might be the right fit for them. That's maybe
Uh-huh.
easier than moving.
Uh-huh.
So, but for most people, especially, business people, people that are actively engaged in personal growth, personal development, want the best, high achievers, business people. A lot of clients come to me like, Jonah, my kind of person is probably not just swiping their evenings. They're probably out like building companies, going speaking,
Mhm.
doing things, collaborations, looking at investment properties, making deals happen, or living the good life, or
Yeah.
around private circles, or hosting a party if there's someone. So I'm like, yeah, exactly. So how do we get into those circles becomes the
Yeah.
initiative. So
Oh,
online, yeah. By the way, somebody takes my stuff and brings it into the online space, massive difference. But then I'm just thinking, why why go there when you can just skip that and go into like genuine real conversation with real people,
mhm,
connect with
mhm.
real people. If you want
Yeah.
real love and a real connection, it's like maybe what's been working the last 2000, 3000, 4000 years of meeting in person. It's like what animals do. Animals find love all the time, so why can't they don't have online dating and they're doing just fine, so why are we?
I love it.
It's kind of funny, but yeah,
We
there you
can
go.
hope, we can only aspire to dogs at the dog park. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can live with that. I can totally live with that. Okay, so what do you think is your biggest marketing mistake? I always ask my guests
Oh
this.
gosh, I mean, gosh, it's like, biggest marketing
Like
mistake.
from the past. Obviously, you're doing
Yeah,
well now, but like, have you ever
yeah,
had a
still
blooper?
learning. Yeah, still
Yeah.
learning. I'm for sure overcomplicating what I do now because I've been doing this for so long. It's like the expert's curse. Like the
Uh-huh.
beginners can have beginner's luck because they're just like, I can help you find love. And
I
that's all
love
they say. Because that's all there is. But now it's you come on and say, I can help you get into higher social circles and have people come talk to you. It's like, it all sounds just too advanced, too complicated, too scary.
it.
So I'm learning myself. Biggest marketing mistake. All right, biggest marketing mistake. This is not something that can be learned necessarily, or even something that like someone could hear this and take it away and be like, oh. But for me, man, intuition of knowing when to trust myself versus hiring a professional.
For marketing.
Yeah. Well, for any, for anything. Well, yeah, for marketing and anything in life, really. Like there's definitely been times like I should have just brought in a person. For sure.
I see.
But then there's also been times where I've been like someone promised certain things, and that. So I've definitely, I don't know how to make that distinction just quite yet. I'm still, but that's a huge marketing mistake. There's been times where I did not trust myself where I should have, and when you're doing, I've built 2 7-figure online businesses and 2 high 6-figure online businesses in the last 6 years. So it's like a lot of revenue has been generated. Well, the problem is the bigger the numbers are, the mistakes cost even more because everything's scaled, right? So it's like, make a mistake self-employed. Okay, you wasted your time. You make a mistake with 12 salespeople. Now all of a sudden there's a major problem. So it's very interesting. I've had lots of character building moments, learning these different, ads, marketing, sales, building team culture. Yeah. So, but I think that's biggest mistake is potentially not trusting myself or thinking that I know what I'm doing when I don't. I don't know. That doesn't maybe answer the question too well, but
I think it's excellent. So were those 4 businesses all in the love and relationship realm? Not at all.
No, I built the first business. Yeah. So my dating coaching business was my real first successful business. I mean, a lot of people say, how did you build a 7-figure and a multi 7-figure business? Well, it's because I've already had 35 other ideas I've been working on since I was 20 years old, So it's just like, eventually you're supposed to, after 30, something's supposed to work. So anyways, but I was a wedding DJ in my 20s. That was my first like self-employed.
So that's how this whole thing.
What?
The wedding DJ was a 7-figure business?
No. That was my first business.
Oh, wow.
When I was like 22 or whatever. That was my first like self-employed that became successful. Whatever that meant to me when I was 22. So yeah, the dating coaching business led to then doing an online event virtual seminar business. That was second business.
Wow.
And then I built a financial consulting business, and then I built a business in the divorce coaching industry as well, as like the main things that I really put a lot of time into. I was doing partnerships, collaborations, had clients. I was helping them scale their companies and just bringing what I was doing into their business. Like, oh, I already built that. Here you go. I already built that. Here you go. I already built that. Here you go. So that's kind of adage, but yeah, different spaces, but all online advertising driven, through running ads.
Wow, it's fascinating. I mean, you're like a serious business guy.
Maybe. I don't know. I know that maybe I should accept the compliment or I should be humble, because
no, take it. It's not easy. But first of all, it's not easy. How many people would do that? Look at it statistically. And second of all I knew about you was the love business, because ever since we met, that's all we ever talked about. But that's super impressive. And so it has even more weight when I ask you what's worked and what hasn't worked in your marketing. So that's really great. So this is good, because now like I'm looking at you as a serious marketing and business guy. So I'm, as you know, launching a masterclass called One-Liner Marketing, about how to describe what you do in a one-liner. So if you had to describe what you did in a one line that got people to ask for your information, ask for an appointment, what do you think that one-liner would be? Or is that too much pressure? Or do you want me to help you?
No, it's evolved. I can give you where it's at today. I think it always evolves. At least for me, it's been evolving. I'm evolving. The clientele I work with is evolving and growing and becoming more business savvy. I mean, I'm coaching people that are twice my age as well. So I'm growing. I'm being called to be more responsible and work my way through higher level problems. But I think what comes to me in like the love industry, for example, is I help people get, well, if I'm talking about coaching women, then I help women get the businessman, personally developed man's perspective on how to find love naturally so they can be with an equally as compassionate but successful partner and ultimately have that life they've been dreaming of with this power partner couple, power coupleship, if that's what you wish to call it, if you will. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. I mean, I would polish it a little bit for sure, but this is great because the components that I I'm going to be teaching about is one is positioning, like who is the actual target who's in pain and what is the one facet of the pain. Obviously, the pain is finding love. Obviously, the pain is being, in love and being a couple. But the perspective of that super niche that you dive deep into is the problem is that these successful business women cannot find their equal who are emotionally and successful, like emotionally and financially successful. So that is the problem. And that is one tiny, tiny, tiny facet of the diamond, which the whole diamond is like, can't find love, right? So that's what I love. And that's what I'll be teaching is how do you actually find that without guessing it, by asking the market, by testing the market, and then by making sure that there's enough money in that segment of the market and in that pain that people are willing to pay you exactly what you want to make. So thank you for that. That was really good. Obviously, I didn't expect anything less, Jonah. I would never have asked. So this is amazing. So how can people reach you?
I think, as things evolve and as I've got my hands in so many projects and connections and all these things, I think just going to jonalavitt.com is probably the simplest because no matter when they see this now or in a year from now, that page will always have whatever I'm up to. And then at the top, people can apply for a collaboration call. They can speak to me if they want to look at working with me. So there's two different propositions there. If it's, a collaboration of sorts. I have a collaboration form people can fill out where I can actually think of who I know that will be valuable connections for them. It's always about how I can support people if there's time. I've got a lot going on, but if somebody's serious and wants help or if they feel inspired to reach out, they can jonalavitt.com. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Is there any last parting advice you want to give to our viewers?
Don't do things alone. Don't do things alone.
I love it.
Life is way better. Business is better. Life is better. Family is better. Working out's better. Eating is better with somebody. Life is better with someone. Don't deprive yourself of the number one gift, human connection. I think that's at the core. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Isolation is never a good strategy for anything.
No.
So.
Thank you so much for being a guest. This was so valuable to us. And everyone, thanks for watching. And I will see you next Tuesday, the day before the big training on Wednesday. Take care, everyone.
Bye.